What's up, you guys? All right, so today, Monday, the last week of April, I'm locking up my 18th consecutive green day. This has been an awesome month right now. Actually, this has a really good shot at being my best month of the year. It's only April, but still. It's significant because I made the decision at the beginning of the month to trade with smaller share size, speculating that, in fact, I might make more with smaller size, although it sounds opposite to what you would probably naturally assume, because when I trade with bigger share size, I'm more apt to get emotionally impulsive. It's harder to pivot on trades to get in and get out quickly because you've got a bigger size. You can't navigate in the ocean as well with a cruise liner as you can with a little dinghy, right? So, with bigger share size, it's hard to move in and out of positions. You've got to be really confident. And therefore winners can certainly be good, but losers can be really bad. And so this ends up, so far, having been a really good decision. So I'm gonna keep it going for 3 more days, and hopefully, I really, at this point, this is the best shot I've had at a no red month in a long time. So hopefully I can just hold it together for 3 more days and finish this month no red April, which would be sweet. And then, May, start fresh, and just continue basically with this smaller share size type of trading. So today I finished with over $5,000 of profit. $5,000. Awesome, especially considering I was trading with small share size. So YTEN, a big move, big breakout on the red to green move from $7.50 up to over $9 a share. A couple nice trades on, NAKD, which was also off the watch list. We had, there were 5 stocks I traded, INO, MDES, and then the fifth one, can't think of the name off the top of my head, but you guys will see during the recap. And as always, questions, comments, leave them down below. Those of you guys who are watching from the sidelines, check out some of the links in my description for the Beginners Getting Started guide. If you want to learn how I was able to day trade with a $500 account despite the PDT rule, that link is in the description. Got a bunch of links there. So you want to learn more, check out those links, and I hope you guys enjoy the recap, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, live streaming right around 9:15 for Tuesday's watch list. All right, so that's it for me. Enjoy the recap, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, everyone, so we're gonna do our midday market recap here for today. Today is Monday, and it's definitely my 18th consecutive green day. I traded pretty aggressively today, especially on YTEN, which was right off the watch list pre-market and is currently up 60%, and had a really nice breakout here from about $7.50 all the way up to over $9 a share. And so this was where I made the bulk of my profit. I didn't really trade it too much in this area, but I'll break those trades down in a second. So the other stocks I traded, NAKD, also straight off the watch list, VXRT, Meds, and INO. All right, so the big question is, where did I finish today? INO was probably less than this. I'm almost positive this was a winner, but it was probably less than $100. Small win on INO. Meds, if I was gonna guess, I did a couple of bottom bounces on it that were better than the breakout trades, but again, I'm thinking more or less break even. I really don't think I did a lot because I had one trade that I know was a good size loss on it, so the bounce has probably made it back. VXRT, I had a couple winners, then a loser, then a couple more winners. So I'm green on it, but the one loser that I had I know was with full size and was a $600 loss. So I might only be up 500 or so. NAKD was a nice trade, probably up 700 or so. And YTEN, I was in the zone. I really don't know how much I was up. I'm thinking maybe 2,000, maybe. So I guess all said and done, I'm thinking I'm around $3,000 on the day. So let's see where we're at for Monday, my 18th consecutive green day. And Chris, he just says up 1,700. Nice work, man. All right, so take your bets. Where am I at? Well, we don't see anything hanging over here, so I know I'm not over 10,000. $5,492.96. That's awesome. Green across the board. 3,700 on Y10. That's awesome. NAKD 685, that's good. VXRT 684, that's totally fine. I mean, it probably could have been a little more, but it's all right. Meds, better than I thought, and INO, yeah, about what I thought. So YTEN 3,700. That's good. I mean, again, it's not incredible. A $5,000 day is awesome, no doubt about it. This is putting me in a really good spot on the month. I mean, you couldn't really be in a better spot than where I'm at right now, which is 18 green days in a row. But it's obviously it's nice to be in this spot on the month. I have to import my trades from Friday, but let's see. I'm just pulling up my my stats here. So I'm gonna go April. So this was before Friday. I haven't imported Friday's trades yet. So I was at 63 in gross profit, 71% accuracy, good profit loss ratio. So while we do this recap, I'll set the I'll get this import started so we can see what I'm at after Friday, and then we've got to add 5,000 for today. So we know, I mean, roughly I'm at 68, probably at 71,000 gross profit, right around there. Because I made 3,000 on Friday and 5,000 today. So, the cool thing today is that NAKD on the watch list and YTEN on the watch list. So those were the two that I made the most on. VXRT, I'll have to see whether or not that was on the gap scanner, but I wasn't watching it pre-market. Meds, I wasn't watching super closely pre-market, but I did notice it. And INO, I was watching pre-market. So 4 out of the 5 stocks were in fact on watch pre-market. So again, the importance of having the pre-market analysis and being able to have a system of how do you find stocks that are worth trading each day. And I've got that system pretty well dialed in. And maybe we talk, why did I not trade DFFN? Why did I not go for AXSM? Why did I not touch AYTU or AVDL or MDGS? That might even be more helpful than talking about why I picked the two I traded. So we'll do both. And what we're going to do, the recap here, then I'm going to switch over to the Warrior Pro room. The Warrior Pro room, you guys will see my live trades. All right, so you'll see some live trading archives that I'll go through on specifically on YTEN, which is some really nice examples there. So if you're interested in the live trading archives, I hope you're in the Warrior Pro room in probably half an hour when we finish this recap. All right, so let me move this over here, and I'm just going to start this import, and then we'll start breaking down today's trades. So let me know how you guys did today. Why don't you post in the room where you're at while I get this import going. All right, so this is IRA. There we go. It was a tricky day. So David says 600 real money. Kyle 105. All right. Let's see. 19. All right. Well, let me just pull this up on screen because you guys are typing faster than I can read. So state. Let's see. Chat room. There we go. All right. So I'm going to close this one and open this one. All right, so here's the small cap room right here. So I'm just going to close these messages. All right, so let's see. Where did I ask? It was somewhere up in here. Oops, went too far. Here we go. Nice. All right, so Brandon, nice. Jacob, nice. Susan, John, nice. Good job, guys. Very good. And a lot of you guys trading the sim, which is where you should be trading right now. You're learning the strategy. You don't want to trade with real money until you've proven you know how to execute these trades and do it consistently. Down 3K in the sim, that's why you're in the sim. It's all right. Glad it's not real money. Exactly. All right, holding too long. Okay, well, you know, lessons learned. That's why you guys are in the sim. Ibrahim, I know you're trading real money, so nice job there. $2 real. Hope that's 2K, but hey, if it's $2, at least you're on the green side of the line. So nice work, guys. Liana, good. 517 in the sim. Nice. 150, 514. Very good. There you go, John. 650. I know that's real money. That's a light speed account. Very good. All right, so that's great to see. I'm happy to see that you know, a lot of you guys are you know, making some money here, whether it's sim or real money. You're learning the strategy, which is important. So this morning, this was the gap scanner as I was looking at it around 9:15 a.m. Well, let me change the time frame here. So historical time. This will just show the actual amount of volume that we had at 9:15. So NAKD was at the top of the gap scan. And what did I say about this? I said, generally, I don't think I like it that much. However, it may halt going up because it's a low price stock, only needs to go up 10%. And so if it rips up 15 cents, we could get halts. And sometimes those halts will result in gaps going up. So out of the gates, it popped up to, it opened it, dipped down to 16. It then popped up to 34. And it did a micro kind of very quick pullback, which I'll show you on, it's going to take a second to load it probably. Actually, no, it's loading pretty fast. So it did a little micro pullback just for a second underneath 30. And so I bought right here at $1.29 with 4,000 shares. I wasn't as aggressive as I could have been. I mean, I could have taken 6,000. And if I really wanted to, I could increase my share size and take more. But that requires, you know, clicking in here and going and doing it. So 6,000 was the most I could take. And one of the kind of rules that I have right now is to be careful taking full size out of the gates. Because if I take full size out of the gates and I lose, then I could potentially have a full size loss. So I like to start with a little bit of a smaller trade and see if I can build my cushion. And then if I have a nice trade and I build my cushion, which I did, this squeezed up to 34 and then up to a high of $1.48. So basically an awesome 15-cent winner there with 4,000 shares. So if we get that type of trade, then all of a sudden I'm green. I don't maybe know exactly by how much when I'm not looking at my P&L while I'm trading, but I know I've had a good trade, and now I'm ready to go on to trade, you know, trade number 2 and see if I can make a little bit of money. Now, YTEN was so let's just back up. So NAKD, I was a little hesitant because of the 57 million share float, and I was a little hesitant because it's on the cheaper side, but I thought if it's going to halt, it may be worth trading. And so as it started to squeeze up, of course, I could see the halt level, LULD, and so I thought, oh, it's very close to the halt level, it's probably going to halt, so I'll just go ahead and jump in. So that was the setup there, buying into a halt. That is a strategy that, as you guys know, not to sound like a broken record, but importance of education, I teach in the classes. I'll log in here to the dashboard to show you which class that's in. All right, so our classes, we basically have them broken up into two classes. We've got the starter and then we've got the pro. And in the pro, there are a number of classes that are all part of the pro curriculum. So let's see, I'm gonna go down here to, let's move this up, to the small cap day trading course part 1. All right, so let's see, and I'm gonna go into, this is the momentum, so buying into or out of a halt, long setup number 8. So that was that lesson is what talks specifically about this strategy right here. So that was NAKD. The next trade was on YTEN, which was the 4th or 5th leading gapper. But what I liked about it, more so than NAKD, was that the price was at a level where a 10% move is going to be more like 70, 80 cents. You know, with 2,000 shares, you're talking there $1,500. So you can start making more money without having to take a ton of shares. And it had squeezed back up to the pre-market high right here. But out of the gates, it actually sold off. And so my first trade was a long at 662, and it was a bottom bounce. Now it popped back up here to 692, which was only 30 cents, and then it came a little bit lower. So my first attempt on this was a bottom bounce trade. I thought that this sell-off was overdone. I didn't take a trade right out of the gates. It did not break the high of 60, which is the level that I really needed to see break. So I just took a bottom bounce trade on it, small profit, nothing big. And then you can see it curled off this level. I did not take this trade right here. This was a break of VWAP. I didn't take it. I was a little nervous. I didn't take this trade either. I still wasn't sure. It was kind of whipping around a lot. But then by this point, I thought, all right, well, look, we've got this tap. So if we break over this price right here, which is where this dotted line is, and that dotted line is because that was today's open. If we break over the open price, we're going to go from red on the day to green. And if we break then over 712, I think we'll get a nice rip. And so that was my first full-size entry on this. And we got the break of 710, and it squeezed up to a high of 739, which was a nice trade. Again, not the best trade I've ever had in my life, but not a bad trade. It pulls back, it comes back up to 740, it pulls back again. And then right here, I take a trade for the break of 750. Now that trade hit a high of 65 and then dropped back down to 26. So it basically was a false breakout. And through here, you can see how it was just like grinding. I mean, it was popping up and pulling back and popping up and pulling back. And I was having a really hard time getting a good dial on it because the breakouts weren't holding, but I wasn't seeing the obvious place to buy dips. And so that was a little bit of a challenge. It then consolidates for a second, and then I start thinking, okay, well now, it's looking pretty obvious that there's going to be a long setup here on the break over $8. And this was around 10 past, what time was this? 10 past 10 that I started to kind of dial in on that possible entry. So this ended up giving a false breakout here, dropping down, and then a stronger breakout here where it finally opened up. And so it took a couple of stabs. Then it pulled back, and it ended up taking some dip trades where I was buying these pullbacks and selling into the breakouts. So anyways, I'll go over those exact trades with a live trading archive recording for Warrior Pro students. So we'll cover that right here in just a few minutes. But for you guys watching the recap here, you can see this was obviously a nice trade down here from about $7.50 especially for a squeeze up to $9.08. And that's the current high. At this point now, it's coming back below the VWAP. So it may be, it may just be selling off a little bit. So that ended up being $3,752 of profit, which considering how big that move is, I would say is a pretty small amount of profit. And that's reflecting the fact that this was a little choppier. Buying breakouts was more difficult. Buying pullbacks was easier. But when you buy a pullback, it's not always as intuitive what the apex point is, what the exact price is to buy, even for me. And so I end up trading those setups with smaller share size, which means the profit is a little smaller. So NAKD we already talked about. So why didn't I like DFFN, the second leading gapper? Too cheap. Very simply, I don't like stocks below $1. I don't like to trade true penny stocks. There are different definitions of penny stocks. Some people say penny stocks are any stock below 3. And that doesn't really make sense because $3 is not, by definition, a penny stock. But someone at some point changed the definition of penny stock to be stocks below $3. And someone else said any stock below 5 is a penny stock. Well, that may be true if you're used to trading $300 price stocks, but a penny stock is a stock, in my opinion, below $1. So anyways, DFFN being below $1, no trades. MDGS. So this one I was interested in, sort of, but yesterday's price action was a big indicator for me to be careful because yesterday it sold off, Friday. Very weak, a shooting star candle. It did not hold up well at all. And so I was just feeling like, I don't know. I mean, I see it's gapping up here. I see that it's got a catalyst. I can see that, the break of the pre-market high of 71 might work. And in fact, it did. And so if you took that trade, you would have been able to make about 15 cents. So the setup worked. In fact, it might have even worked better than YTEN as a gap and go, although YTEN did a nice red to green move. But I was just cautious because of Friday's very weak candle, and I felt that ultimately it wasn't bullish, until it broke over like $3 or maybe even the high of yesterday's candle. And so for that reason, I left it alone. AXSM, this was simply too expensive. Can't trade a stock that's $100 a share. SPN didn't have enough volume. AVDL is $13 and a 33 million share float. I usually don't trade stocks of that price range, although I did trade INO. INO is an exception because it's made this parabolic move recently and it's starting to squeeze up. And my trade on this one was a 1 minute pullback, and of course it didn't work out super well, but I took this trade right here, but I got in at 40 to anticipate the break. It hit a high of 50, flat top, big seller, couldn't break it, and I got back out with just a little bit of profit. So what was it, $50, $51. But again, that was a little bit of an exception to trade a price and float of that range, and I did that because of the big moves it's been making. So going further down, Y10, I was interested. Too expensive, too cheap, too expensive. ELTK, I had on my watch list as a maybe. But out of the gates, it sold off. So no trades. Wasn't interested in anything here. AYTU, very crowded, very thickly traded. It's just not a very nice pre-market chart. Didn't care about it. And MEDS, MEDS, this was one that I wasn't watching very closely. I saw some of you guys talking about it, but I didn't go for it and as a gap and go. But then when it popped up right here, I decided to go ahead actually and get in right up here for the break of 8. It then dropped all the way down to 7, and I took the bottom bounce here at about 7.15 for that pop back up to, I got filled at 7.18 for the pop back up to 7.60. So not the easiest one in hindsight. This is one I would be totally okay if I had just skipped on it entirely. But YTEN was the one today. And, sometimes you do have to take a few stabs before you find the one. And that was, I guess, the case today with a couple of smaller trades. Oh, and VXRT was on the scanners moving up pretty quickly. And we had a really nice 5-minute flag breakout right here. As you can see, first 5-minute candle to make a new high. And I also had a trade right here on the 1 minute. So trades there, and then again here, and then again, let's see, there was a nice setup there, and then I took a break over 4, and it hit a high of 407 before pulling back. So that's going to be it for the recap. For me, a green day, the 18th green day, and let's see if my trade's imported over here on the side. So let's see, reports view, April. Yep, so let's see, I'll bring this back up. All right, so this is now the month with Friday included. So look at that. I mean, that's a really, really pretty looking month. Not only is there no red day, there's some really nice green days. 14,000, 11,000, 6,800. These are nice days. So the P&L, not including today, was 66 gross, 72% accuracy moving up, profit loss ratio 421 winner by 286 loser. So still a pretty good profit loss ratio. It's not the perfect 2-to-1, but it's pretty good. Performance by price has been, basically anything under 10 has been the bulk of it. Although I've had a couple trades between 10 and 20 that have given me an extra almost 10,000 in profit. Days and times, Wednesdays happen to be good. Probably a coincidence because, when you look at the P&L over like a much longer period of time, go back to like 16, I mean, again, statistically, I don't know what would cause that. I honestly don't know. I mean, but I do see that it is typically higher while the other days are kind of in the middle or very similar. Perhaps it's psychological. Perhaps it's I'm more aggressive on Wednesdays after having a good Monday and Tuesday. And then on Thursday and Friday, I start to ease off a little bit going into the weekend. It could be me. It could be that stocks are more likely to put out news on Wednesdays. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. So anyways, good trades overall. And so far, it's been a pretty solid month. Today's the 18th consecutive green day, and I'm going to go back at it tomorrow morning. As always, try to make it day 19 and see if I can finish off the month of April with 3 more green days. All right, so I'm gonna jump over to the Warrior Pro Room and I'm gonna play you guys the live trading archive of YTN, and we're gonna break that down and I'll answer some more questions for you guys. All right, so I'll see you guys over there, and everyone else, I'll see you first thing back here tomorrow morning, 9:15, pre-market analysis, and hopefully we have another nice looking gap scanner. We can get a couple nice trades in the first 30 minutes. Hey, have you seen my most popular video on YouTube? It's got over 5 million views. You can check it out right here, and check out one of my other videos on YouTube right here. I hope you guys enjoy, and as always, if you have questions, leave them down below in the comments section. I personally respond to every comment that's posted.